Good morning. I am John Morton. I'm the Assistant Secretary for Immigration and Customs Enforcement and also its Director. Today we indict a group of alleged criminals making big money in the shady underworld of counterfeiting in industrial and commercial goods. We allege this group smuggled literally thousands upon thousands of fake shoes, handbags, and watches from brands such as Nike, Gucci, Coach, and Cartier through the Port of Baltimore. And a related group smuggled counterfeit merchandise into London, England. Thanks to a 2-year undercover investigation by ICE agents and with exemplary assistance from our partners at Customs and Border Protection and the City of Baltimore Police, 8 members of the U.S. group are in custody and preparing to meet a jury of their peers. And our good friends at the City of London Police and the UK Border Agency have simultaneously arrested 6 members of the UK group, and all of those 6 members face prosecution by Her Majesty's government. The crimes we announced today are serious business. This was not a mom-and-pop operation. This was organized crime on a grand scale. ICE agents literally around the world, working with the U.S. Attorney's Office here in Baltimore and the City of London Police, dismantled an international network of dealers in counterfeit goods. Goods produced in Malaysia, goods produced in China, and then smuggled to the United States in shipping containers through the Port of Baltimore, and then sold under false trademarks belonging to U.S. industry. Millions were made by crooks. Millions were lost by legitimate U.S. companies. 33 containers of false goods entered the United States. Another 10 are being administratively seized by ICE with the assistance of CBP, and 3 more went to London, England, and have been seized by authorities there. To give you a sense of the market value, we estimate that each shipping container contained about $1 million of goods. Do the math, and you end up with $33 million just for the containers alleged in the indictment. And as the U.S. Attorney just announced, the UK seized a considerable amount of counterfeit goods in London, along with 350,000 pounds. This is the largest case of its kind for ICE in Baltimore and the state of Maryland, and it is the largest case ever in the history of London police authorities when it comes to counterfeiting goods. Here's why this case is important, why counterfeiting is a serious crime that everyone ought to be concerned about. The smuggling of counterfeit goods into the United States represents a triple threat to America. First, it robs Americans of jobs and innovation. Second, it fuels organized crime. And third, it creates a serious public safety risk to ordinary Americans and consumers. Think about it just in the terms of this case. All of the companies set forth in this indictment are American companies. Indeed, Coach, one of the companies, is registered right here in the state of Maryland. Not one of them saw a penny in profits. Not one of them paid any wages to a U.S. worker in connection with the goods produced in this case. Instead, the millions of profits, every pound, every penny, went to organized crime. No taxes were paid, no health care was paid, no wages were earned. And it wasn't just fake shoes and handbags, as the U.S. Attorney just noted. The future of this case was in counterfeit pharmaceuticals, something that no one in their right mind should put in their body at any price. To the consumer tempted to purchase a pair of sneakers or a handbag to save a few bucks, let me say this: stop. It's not worth it. Know that you are costing your neighbor a job and you're depressing the U.S. economy. Know that the person you're paying for that pair of sneakers or that handbag isn't a responsible merchant. That person is a criminal And the money you're giving him is fueling organized crime in places like Malaysia and China. It's not going to build up good business, good wages here in Maryland. You're not getting a steal. You're helping steal from U.S. workers and U.S. industry. Our message to honest consumers is simple: buyer beware. If something looks too good to be true on the corner of 4th and Main, guess what? It is too good to be true. You should only purchase these kinds of items from reputable merchants. Just as drugs and people are smuggled into the United States, counterfeit goods are smuggled into the United States, not by an individual, by organized criminals. This is organized crime, pure and simple, on a grand scale, on an international scale. At ICE, we take counterfeiting very, very seriously. We are committed to identifying, dismantling, and prosecuting these international networks, whether it's in Baltimore, New York City, or London, England. Counterfeiting isn't a joke. It's a very, very serious crime. A crime at ICE we will investigate over and over. We'll hunt you down. We'll indict you. We will prosecute you. We will try to put you in jail. If you're tempted if you're tempted to dabble in the sale of counterfeit goods, all I have to say is be prepared to go to jail. Let me close by noting a word of thanks, first to the United States Attorney's Office. These kinds of cases take several years to investigate. It is an enormous devotion of resources for an investigative agency, even one as big as ICE. We sent agents literally around the world for a period of 2 years to investigate this case. We couldn't do these kinds of long-term, sophisticated investigations if we didn't have the firm commitment and advice from federal prosecutors. So, again, my thanks to the U.S. Attorney, my thanks to his team. We couldn't do this kind of work without them. My thanks to CBP, to the City of Baltimore Police. Invaluable assistance. We couldn't do this kind of case without them. Finally, this case is a perfect example of good international cooperation. We need, in this modern world with modern criminals who operate without regard to sovereign boundaries, to have excellent relationships between law enforcement in countries around the world. And fortunately, we have that cooperation with the United Kingdom. The City of London's efforts in this case, I can't speak highly enough about them. The UK Border Agency. We were able to develop a lead during the course of our investigation here in the United States that suggested the same sort of behavior was going on in London. We immediately contacted London authorities. They put together a very sophisticated operation of their own, worked hand in glove with us, and ultimately were able to pull off the largest case of its kind in London. And I think we will see a whole related group ultimately face prosecution and prison in the United Kingdom. And I'm very pleased to say that we were a part of that, and it's the kind of international cooperation and work we need to make a dent in this kind of crime. So thank you all. I look forward to future coordination with our counterparts in the United Kingdom. I would say to those that are here who have questions about the case, just to say the investigation continues, and again, my sincere thanks to the United States Attorney and his team. Thank you.